Welcome to Interstage Left. I'm your host, Yvette Monique Clark. This is the spot where we kick it about all things theater, from on stage to backstage and even under the stage. We're talking stories, craft, and the passion that keeps the theater world alive. Let's get into it. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Wonderful. Yes, I can hear you.
Amazing,
Inside joke,
amazing.
everybody. Today we have Nick Perez with us. Um, he has many hats: pianist, musical director, arranger, orchestra, piano bar entertainer. So many things. But thank you for joining me today and welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. We just had our
Good.
matinee here at Buena Vista, and the World Cup energy is
Oh,
in the
oh
building.
yes, yes. That World Cup has still has the city on an axis.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
almost makes you want to follow soccer. It's very exciting.
Right, right.
Um, so why I'm just going to tell you why I started this podcast is because I find it fascinating that people come from different places, different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, and we all end up on the same stage. And I always want to talk to people from the footlights to the spotlights, backstage, on stage, and under the stage. So today with you, I want to focus on your arranger orchestrator hat. So we'll start with those. We'll start with those questions. But first, I always ask, where are you from, and how did you get into the business of show?
So I grew up in the East Bay area, about half an hour outside of San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
and I got into show business by doing shows at my high school. I was lucky
Okay.
enough to go to a high school that had a really fantastic theater program. I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
did five musicals in 4 years,
Wow.
and my first time my first time playing in a pit, I knew I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Okay. Okay. Is piano? Do you play other instruments besides the piano?
Back in California, I was a church organist for some time,
Okay.
and
Okay.
for no particular reason, that was one of the many jobs I do that just didn't happen when I moved to New York. So
Okay.
I haven't played a church gig or played organ in some time.
Okay. Okay. Um, was orchestration and arranging part of your initial skill set, or did you develop both of those over time?
I developed both of those over time. Um, I played in jazz band in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was in
Mm-hmm.
high school, I wrote some very, very basic um, arrangements for our high school band. And
Okay.
I was always fascinated with how does each instrument work together to
Okay.
make the sounds that we hear.
Right. Right. Okay. So for people who don't know what an arranger is, can you tell us what you actually do when you're arranging music?
So an arranger it's basically taking a song that's in one medium
Mm-hmm.
and writing it for a different group to perform. So for
Okay.
example, um, a singer songwriter has a track of them singing and playing, and they say, I want to turn this into a musical theater piece
Okay.
for three voices. So we take that recording and then we write out an arrangement for that. Or one that I do very often is I write for gay choruses across the country, like
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, for example. I'll take an existing pop song
Mm-hmm.
and, for example, like an existing holiday song.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of holiday arrangements for them for their December concerts. And I'll take that pop song that's written for one singer and a band, and I'll arrange it for a 250 person chorus.
Mm.
So tenor one, tenor two, baritone, bass. So it's
Okay.
just translating um, a song from one version to another.
Okay. Okay. Um, what's the difference between composing and arranging? Does arranging, does it deal with songs that already exist, and composing is coming from something that's original?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Um, when you get a song, what's like the first thing you listen for? Is it a way for you? How do you get into the song to arrange it for various voices?
Oh, so the first thing I do is if sheet music doesn't exist for it, I do what's
Mm-hmm.
called transcribing, where I just
Okay.
listen to it over and over again and
Right.
write down what I hear.
Wow.
And
Okay.
once I do that, once I have like a very basic form structure, probably like the left hand of the piano, I'll write out before anything else. And once I have that structure, then I need to look and see, okay, does this key work for the group that I'm arranging for? And
Mm-hmm.
more often than not, no, I have to adjust the key. And luckily with notation software these days, that's just a click of a button.
Okay.
So, but I make sure I have the form that I want, and I have the beginning and the end, how I want to end the piece
Right.
that I want, and then I settle on a key,
Right.
and then I start filling in um, the harmonies, for
Right.
example, for a chorus.
Okay. Is that what is the name of the what is the name of the software that you use to change keys and so forth like that?
So I use two notation softwares.
Mm-hmm.
I use Dorico primarily, which is kind of the new notation software on the
Mm-hmm.
field, and I also use Sibelius, which is what I trained on originally, starting in high
Okay.
school.
Okay. Okay. Um, when you're arranging a song, do you sometimes have, never have, most times have um um room to like reinvent some things, or to maybe like arrange it, in a different way than somebody originally thought it should be, if that makes sense?
Yes, yes. I just finished an arrangement for San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, and it was feeling really repetitive at the
Mm.
end. It was just kind of the same chorus over and
Mm-hmm.
over again. And so, in order to avoid that repetition, I had the band drop out in my arrangement, claps
Okay.
on two and four, and when the band re-enters, there's a key change, and we go up a
Okay.
whole step. So
Okay.
those kinds of things, there's room definitely.
Okay. Cool. um when you get into a song, where do you start? Do you start with the rhythm, the harmony, the storytelling, or it could be every song is different how you approach it?
Every song is different. If it's a musical theater song, then I lean heavily into rhythm and story.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a choral piece, I lean into harmony and how I
Mm-hmm.
can really make the sound big.
Okay.
And you have 250 people singing, you want to maximize the amount of voices that you have.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. um um oh, this is funny to me. How do you approach a song when you don't really like it?
I remember the paycheck. I remember the paycheck, and if I'm working in my apartment, I look up and look at the lights on and say I want to keep those on.
Right. So you just plug in. You just get it
Yeah,
done.
because it's not realistic in this
Right.
industry that every job you do is going to be one that you love and is really
Right.
artistically rewarding. A lot are, but there's maybe 5 to 10% that you just do because it's a paycheck.
Right. Right. Um, how do you balance the playability for the musicians? So if you arrange a song and it's singers and musicians or whatever, how do you balance all of that into the arrangement?
So I tend to do research on who I'm writing for.
Okay.
You know, I because I used to work for the Gay Men's Chorus in San Francisco, I
Mhm.
know everyone in their band, both professionally and as friends. So I
Mhm.
know what I can write for them. Um, if it's a group that I don't know, I tend to err on the side of safety.
Mhm.
So, but what I also do as an arranger and as an orchestrator is I'll call musicians, I'll call my trumpet player friends, my violinist friends, and I'll send
Okay.
them a picture of my score and say, hey, is this playable? Hey, is this awkward? Because while
Okay.
I know enough about the instruments, I don't know all of the ins and outs of them.
Okay.
And so I always try to get a second opinion before I send it off to print.
Okay. That makes sense. Um, have you had experience arranging for outside of theater, concerts, and recordings? Have you delved into that? And how is that different for those genres?
So what do you mean outside of theater?
So if you do theater, you arrange for theater, is it different from a concert, which is different from a recording? Do you have experience in all three of those or some of those? And how is it different?
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. I don't have a ton of experience arranging for studio recording,
Okay.
but I will say my arranging kind of lives in two worlds, musical theater and choral.
Okay.
And when I'm arranging for a chorus, it's really about either how gorgeous can I make the arrangement or
Hmm.
how stunning and flashy
Well,
can I make it? And then it becomes the job of the artistic director to say, okay, I see this arrangement and it's going to go here in the concert. And then the artistic director creates the storyline.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Whereas for cabaret and for musical theater, I do a lot of cabaret arranging as well. Then it's more about the story,
Okay.
and it's about how can we make this medley work? How can we make this medley not boring and sound the
Right.
same for 12 minutes?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Um, what's the biggest mistake that an arranger can make arranging for singers? Um, yeah.
There are a number. Writing too high or too low,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the voice part. You can write in one range for bass that you can't write in for baritone or tenor.
Right.
And so just kind of know that's like a really basic mistake that you can make that will get some people raising their eyebrows at you. On do you know what you're doing?
Yes. Do
Um,
you know? You
and,
know.
and, and then another thing is when I write these choral arrangements, I also
Mhm.
write the band parts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you never want to have the band outshining the singers. So it's about who is not more important, but it's about knowing the relationship between the band and the singers. The band
Right.
is supporting the singers; they're
Right.
not both in the spotlight.
Right. They're not overpowering. Overpowering them.
Right.
Um, do you at if you're the arranger in a piece or in a show or what have you? Do you deal with the composers and the music directors on that project? Are you
Yes.
involved with them? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You're involved. Um, a lot of times, the music director will be the arranger, like on a new work.
Mm. Okay.
Um, but then the orchestrator is usually a different person.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever had to fight for an arrangement choice? There was something you strongly believed in? Yeah. What
Yeah.
happened?
I did an arrangement of a piece and I added on a little coda at the
Mm-hmm.
end,
Mm-hmm.
like a little surprise.
Right.
And The artistic director, who's a very dear friend of mine, said, I just, no, I don't think we want it to end that way. And I said, no, I think we do. And he said, no, that because that piece happens again later on in the show. And
Mm-hmm.
I fought and I said, look, it's just a little, it's just 16 bars of
Right.
this piece. And it ended up being one of the highlights of the show.
Ah.
They used it to close Act One. And
Uh-huh.
so I pick my battles, but when I'm
Right.
convinced of something, I do go to bat for it.
Right. Right. Well, you gotta fight for something that you believe in when you know, right?
Yeah.
Um, how do you handle notes? If somebody gives you a note and it's completely different from what your vision is, and how do you handle taking the note when you have to change your vision?
Mm. I usually take it pretty gracefully, honestly,
Okay.
and that goes back to the picking battles. If it's if I am kind of impartial on it, and
Right.
I just happened to see it one way, doesn't mean that that's the only way I see it.
Okay. Got it. Got it. You just have to like you said, pick your battles.
Yeah.
Um, what's a song that everyone loves that you think has a weak arrangement?
Ooh, that is a great question. Um, hmm. I don't. There's a lot of like current pop stuff
Mm,
that is just kind of it's just kind of basic. I don't think it's bad.
right.
I won't say what I think is bad, but there are very few um, songs. I'm like there are very few pop songs currently where I'm like, oh my god, that's a great arrangement. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're using chords that are really kind of based in jazz, and
Okay.
I find those really cool. Um, Something like I'm going to say Tennessee Whiskey. It, it's a country song and it's fine, but it's two chords. It's two
Mm-hmm.
chords
Yeah.
going back and forth. I play it every Monday at the duplex, um, and
I love
I
that song.
don't. I, I do think it's fine. I do think it's fine, but like it's just it's one chord, next chord, one chord, next chord. So that's kind of
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But is there a time when simplicity is best?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'll agree there. And also in the song, maybe that wasn't the best example to use because while the form and the structure of the song is a little simple,
Right.
the vocals make up for it.
Yeah, they
So
do.
yeah,
Yeah, they sure do.
yeah.
Yes.
So I would say if the vocals weren't there in that song, if if they weren't doing what they do, it'd be a
Mm-hmm.
bad song.
Yeah.
But I think the vocals saved that one.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
As sometimes it often does in shows as well. Um, what's an over? Is there a trend that's overused in arranging that you may be a little tired of hearing?
Is there a trend that's overused? Um, Not that I can think of. I can't think of one specific trend where I'm like, oh, I'm
Hmm.
sick of hearing that. You know, there, there's some that are cliche,
Okay.
but often they work.
Okay.
Like I call it like your bag of tricks. Like
Okay.
when something's feeling boring,
Right.
you do a drum fill, modulate up a whole step, and it works. So even though it might
Right.
be cliche, even though it might be used a lot, I don't know that it's overused.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it has to be done tastefully.
Okay. You have to put it in the right spot. Um, can too many instruments ruin a song? Can a song be over arranged?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially in especially in the modern days now of
Mm-hmm.
keyboards that can play 900 different sounds. You can definitely over arrange a song. And
Okay.
that goes back to my point on who is the star in this moment and who
Right.
is supporting that.
Right. 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 Um. So is it? Have you arranged for large orchestras or yeah? Have you arranged like have you arranged for large orchestras before?
Once as a college project.
Okay. How
Other,
many
other,
pieces
other
was
than
it?
that, that was probably 60, I would say. So it was a 60-piece
Wow.
orchestra. Yeah. And that was a really valuable experience learning how
Hmm.
each and every instrument works.
Wow.
These days, that's just not really a world that I work in. And
Okay.
so I work in, probably the biggest group I arrange for these days is probably 12 to 14.
Okay. Yeah.
But because of what I studied in college, I know that, if I have an oboe in that group of 12 to 14, I know exactly how it works and how I can write for it, even if I'm
Okay.
not writing for a big symphony.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do you have you arranged for smaller groups like individuals asked you to arrange their music for them? Like a singer or a group? Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've had people come to me and say, "Oh, I'm writing a show
Okay.
and I have chords and voice memos of my piece." And then as an arranger, I make it look like sheet music.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what was the first song you arranged? Like, when did you? What was the first thing you did? What was your first project?
In high school, I did an arrangement of "Take the A Train," an old Duke Ellington song,
Wow.
and yeah, and it wasn't, looking back on it now, it was uh, not any of my finest work, but it was it was a really good exercise, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
grateful to my high school band director who gave me the space um, to try something new, and
Right.
he gave me an avenue to pursue that in.
Cool. Who were some of your influencers, and or mentors that helped you along the way with becoming an arranger and an orchestrator?
So my dear friend Matt Smart, who was the music supervisor at Transcendence Theater Company in
Okay.
Sonoma, I've spent quite a few summers out there. And that was probably my first professional gig where I had
Mhm.
to lean into my arranging and my orchestrating. And I learned a lot from watching him and sending him my materials for him to review. So
Mhm.
I learned a lot there. Um,
Okay.
I, I've learned a lot from watching my boss here at Buena Vista, Marco Paglia,
Okay.
who won the Tony for
I know
orchestration.
that's right. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I learned a lot just watching him and hearing what he put together and
Mm-hmm.
how he wrote for the band to support and to shine at moments. But
Mm-hmm.
his arranging and his orchestrating really is a fantastic balance between the singers and the orchestra. And
Right.
it never feels like they're fighting each other.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between an orchestrator and an arranger? Is one person always both, or one can be one and one can be the other?
You can be both. You can be
Mm-hmm.
arranger and orchestrator. The orchestrator if you are just an orchestrator for a show, you are
Mhm.
just writing the band parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And you have a very deep knowledge of what every instrument can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. When a composer hands you a piano score, right?
Mhm.
And they want you to do the thing. What do you see that the rest of us don't? Like what how do you orchestrate if someone just hands you a piano score and then you have to, you know, do what orchestrators do?
So orchestrating, you mean specifically like writing for the band.
Yes.
So I figure out first what kind of groove I want. Is it
Okay.
swung? Is it straight? Is it funk? Is there
Right.
a heavy backbeat? What kind
Right.
of groove are we going for? That's kind of the foundation. And
Okay.
then what's the pattern the bass is going to play? I kind of start from the ground up, start
Okay.
with drums. I'll write a bass groove, and then how does guitar fit into that? And then once I have bass, drums, guitar, piano all written out, then I start looking at the horns and where can I put horn, just even if it's just a pop
Mm-hmm.
or a little figure.
Right.
Like when it comes to horns, I'm inspired by Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Okay.
Tower of Power,
Okay.
like those funk bands from back in the day. They had
Mm-hmm.
just some of the best horn writing. And so I look at, okay, now how can the horns play in, and how can all of that support the singer? That's what I look at.
Right. Right.
Like you don't want a trumpet, trombone, and tenor sax playing a figure while the singer is trying to sing a melody.
Right. Right. That'd be a little difficult to sing over those instruments.
Yeah.
Um, how do you decide which instrument should play a particular melody? You know, it's like we have all of these instruments, but somebody has to be on the melody. So how do you decide in the song who plays that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can kind of hear, one thing an orchestrator can do is hear instruments in their head. I
Mm-hmm.
can hear an oboe play a melody one way, I can hear a clarinet play it the other, I can hear a French horn play it, and each instrument kind of has its own characteristic to it.
Right.
When I think of French horn, I think of grand and sometimes somber. When I think
Right.
of trombone, I think of big, brassy. Um, when I think of flute, I think of light and floating. And so it
Right.
just kind of depends. It depends on what the lyrics are at that
Mm-hmm.
moment, what the story is at that
Right.
moment, and
Yeah.
that'll influence what instruments I use.
This is all very fascinating to me because I don't even read music. And so someone who can hear all of that and write that down and create, it's just it's mind blowing to me. Have you ever suggested any changes that made the score stronger?
Ooh, that's a great question. I'm trying to think. I'm sure I have at one point or another. I oh yes, I have in terms of adding instruments.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I did a concert recently out in Philadelphia for a show called La Guagua 47, the 47 bus in
Okay.
English, and it's a Puerto Rican show, and we did just a concert presentation of it um, in Philly in early June, and I said, you know what, we really need trumpet in this show. We can't do Latin music like this without at least one horn. And I
Right.
understand that it's an initial presentation, but we really need to. And then I got a lot of compliments afterwards on, oh my God, that trumpet was so great.
Because that's what you needed. You needed the trumpet. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Different instruments evoke different emotions, right? So do you paint an emotional palette with the instruments when you orchestrate the song? You know, if a song is supposed to move you, make you cry, make you laugh, or you know, how do you are you it's part of your job to make the emotional palette of a song as well?
Yes, absolutely. And
Mhm.
if a song is meant to move you, I tend to start small and then build.
Mhm. Okay.
It's about how much do you, you know, in music we use crescendo and decrescendo, but
Right.
how much can I orchestrate that
Right.
crescendo? How
Right.
much can I add instruments and then pull them out?
Right. Right.
So yeah.
That thought process, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Do you have a time when you changed one instrument completely and it transformed the scene, like the movement of the music? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In in this concert that I did recently, um, I we had kind of like a swung hip hop number,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
all I did was I pressed a button on the keyboard and changed the piano sound to like a dirty electric piano sound,
Wow.
and that just like completely, or like I told the guitar player, instead of playing clean, add some wah pedal and
Okay.
and you know, just little things like that,
Right.
knowing the ranges of your instruments that you're writing for and
Yeah.
what you can make them do.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Okay. You wanted to dirty it up a little bit. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
is orchestration about technique or storytelling, or could it be a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's it's knowing what all your instruments can do,
Mhm.
and then how you can use every corner of that in that of their abilities and their techniques to really tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, can orchestrations change how audiences see a character, for example? Like, you know, does it make you see someone as a villain, like some music comes on or somebody's like, you know, um dying or I'm very dramatic. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think of I think there's a couple moments I'll throw out there. In Les Miserables, when Eponine dies.
Hmm.
Spoiler alert for those watching that haven't
Who
seen
don't
Les.
know that it's been in existence for 50 years almost? Yeah. Uh-huh.
When she's dying, the orchestration is strings hovering at the very top of their range in a
Right.
tremolo and
Right.
harp. And the
Right.
combination of those two instruments is just like it. There's a reason
Yeah.
they call it heartstrings because it
Yes.
tugs right there.
Right.
Um, the other moment I'll think of is, and then you really start to feel sorry for Eponine if you didn't
Yeah.
already, and it
Yeah.
really that song "Little Fall of Rain" can get you. Um,
Yes.
the other moment I'm thinking of is in Andrew Lippa's Wild Party, which is one of my favorite shows.
Mm.
Um, uh, in the song "The Juggernaut,"
Mm-hmm.
it opens with a trumpet solo, cold in the open, with a
Oh wow.
plunger and growling,
Wow.
and you see this character walking down, and it just amplifies the sexiness and the
Right.
appeal and the it you know, and it's just that trumpet. There's no other instruments in that moment. It's just a growling trumpet with a plunger mute.
Wow. Wow. That's music does magical things for a scene. I've seen shows where there was no speaking, it was just the music and the actors moving within the music, and you're like, you understood the story they were trying to tell. That's why
Yeah.
music is so important. So important. Have you ever had to orchestrate around difficult choreography or staging?
Ooh, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. Um, you know, I haven't been in a position where I'm orchestrating for a new musical yet.
Okay.
I'm mostly doing existing songs for other
Okay.
groups, existing
Yes.
songs for a cabaret, but I would love an opportunity to kind of try that out.
Yeah. To stretch your wings. Let's put that in the atmosphere, but
Let's
don't
do
make
it.
it
Let's do it.
don't make it difficult. You want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's the most stressful deadline you've ever had?
Oh gosh, I'm famous at putting things on my plate.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at my calendar and I'm like, oh my god, I don't have work. I don't have enough booked. I need to take all the commissions I get. And then what
Mm-hmm.
happens is I take those commissions, and all of a sudden, every piano bar, every show in the city starts calling and putting concrete things on my calendar. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do all of it. And
Mm-hmm.
I have once or twice actually brought on a co orchestrator to like
Mm.
to say, here, I have these three projects
Right.
and it's 23 pieces total. Can you take seven of them?
Right.
And then
Right.
we work out a payment between us. So, and
Okay.
because I really care about my work and what has my name on it, I always
Right.
review what they send me,
Okay.
and so I put my final stamp on it. But yeah, I had one maybe a year and a half ago that was like I had to do 18 arrangements in like a week and a half. So
So, how long does it normally take to do an arrangement? Does it depend on how many songs is in the packet, or but generally it's one song. How long does it take to arrange one song?
it depends. If I really sit down and just phone
Right.
off, put my mind to it, I can usually do
Mm-hmm.
one in about 3 to 4 hours.
Okay. Okay.
And it depends on the difficulty of the song too. If it's
I
a
was so
pop
bad.
song, if it's a pop song with maybe six chords in the whole thing, it'll be a little easier. If it's, a very complex tune that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, has all these changes and key changes and
Mm-hmm.
time signature changes, then it becomes a little more difficult.
Orchestrations and the and um have you ever finished orchestrations like right before the first rehearsal, like right up to almost the deadline?
Yeah. Yeah. Once or twice.
Everybody
You
was a
know,
little
I
nervous. Mm-hmm.
whenever people commission me for things, I
Mm-hmm.
always ask for two deadlines. Like
Okay.
the first deadline of it'd be great by this date, and then
Mm-hmm.
the we absolutely need these by this date.
Okay.
And when I have two deadlines to work with, I can get everything in by that first one.
Okay.
And then if there's any revisions that have to be made,
Right.
then I have that, 2 weeks or so to make
Okay.
those changes.
Do your projects often have often have ample time, like a couple of weeks, a month? I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah,
all
yeah.
depends on the project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
usually it'll be about 2 months or so. I
Okay.
have sometimes been presented with, hey, X, Y, and Z happened. We need this arrangement in a week.
Mm.
And I look at my schedule, and I'm getting a lot better at doing that, and actually saying like, okay, yeah, I can get this to you in a week. And I
Right.
usually, from a business standpoint, I usually have some kind of rush fee on things like that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to have a rush
But
fee.
usually people are pretty considerate in, you know, we need this in 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Easy.
That gives you some wiggle room to get it done.
Yep.
Um, what's your favorite instrument to write for?
Mm. Um, I would say my favorite. It's tough because every instrument is has its own fun
Yeah.
stuff to write for. I love writing for horns. Give me a
Okay.
trumpet, a trombone, and a saxophone, and
Yes.
writing fun, funky figures for them to play.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Those are my favorite instruments to hear.
yeah.
Um, what instrument is the hardest to write effectively for? Is there one that's like, oh boy, you want that instrument? Okay.
Drum, drums. Drums are pretty
Really?
hard to write
Okay.
for because they use completely different music notation than every
Yeah.
other instrument. So,
Wow.
because they're not pitched. So they
Okay.
use the same 4 lines of music that we use, but
Right.
instead, what would be a low F for me as a piano player is a kick drum for them.
Oh,
What would be a C for me is a snare drum.
okay.
And so there's it. I had to learn how to do that early
Okay.
on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I heard drums is a little bit different to write for.
Hmm.
Um, what's one orchestration you are most proud of?
One orchestration I am most proud of. Um, I'm very proud of the work I did at that concert in Philadelphia last month.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
um, getting to write Latino orchestrations for a new show like that. That's what I moved to the
Right.
East Coast to do, was work on
Right.
new Latino works, and getting to hear it, getting to not only music direct it, but hear my orchestrations. I was really happy with that. And also a number of pieces I've done for the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. I'm very proud of those.
Okay. The project you did in Philly, how many songs were involved in the show?
Oh, we had about 9.
Okay. Okay.
And so I didn't do a lot of the arrangements. I was the music director for the concert, and then I did a few orchestrations for them.
Okay. Okay. Was it all the music, original music?
It was all original music
Oh,
by
that's fantastic.
Alba Martinez, who's a local legend in Philadelphia.
Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. We don't have a lot of originality these days, so it's nice.
No, we don't.
Is there an orchestrator that influenced you in your work? Someone you looked up to or you followed or you.
I mentioned Marco Peguia here already from Buena
Right.
Vista, but also
Right.
Alex Lacamore. Alex Lacamore is like the orchestrator of orchestrators. He's incredible.
Does he do
Yeah.
theater or concerts or recording or everything?
Everything. He was the, I don't want to misrepresent him. He was the music director for In the Heights originally,
Okay.
and the
Okay.
orchestrator for that. He's the original music director and orchestrator for Hamilton.
Okay.
Whenever Lin Manuel has a show that he wants to do, he calls Alex Lacamore.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. When you
Alex
find good
Lacamore
people.
also did Encanto for
Okay.
Disney. So
Okay. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, he got that Disney check. Okay.
yeah. Yep.
That's a long check.
Yes, it is.
Do you ever have to deal with creative blocks? Like all performers have something, all people in the business have something that's like, I don't know how to make this thing do the thing. So, do you have creative blocks at all?
I do. Yeah. And
Hmm.
how do I manage those? I call people I call other musician friends of mine,
Right.
and I have to, if I have a creative block, I have to take myself away from the computer for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't normally just sit there and power through it.
Right.
I have to go take a walk, take a nap, go have dinner, do something, and
Right.
then come back, to it having just done something different.
Right. Right. Yeah, you need to back away from it and come back with some fresh eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, if you could orchestrate any show in history, what would it be?
Ooh. Well, because the thing is, the shows are already orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
Like In the Heights has already been orchestrated.
Mm-hmm.
So like reorchestrate, like if
Yeah,
they did it, if they did a revival,
a revival. We could go there. A revival
probably In the Heights.
in
That's
the Heights.
one of my favorite shows. Now here's the thing: what would I do to improve it? I don't know. It's already a pretty damn good orchestration.
Well, the question was, wasn't could you improve it? It was, would you want to do that if you could do that?
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good answer. In the Heights is one of my favorite. I had a hard time
love
staying in
it.
my seat when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
if I get up and dance, will they put me out? Um, what advice would you give to someone young who wants to be an orchestrator or an arranger? Um, how would they get into the field?
Mm. Well, I would say the first thing to do is listen. Listen to
Mm,
as much music as possible. Listen to music that you wouldn't normally listen to,
mm-hmm.
and listen to film scores and Broadway shows and your favorite classic rock band and Miles Davis and Bill Evans and
Mm,
the best salsa groups coming out of Colombia, Puerto Rico, and Cuba, and just like listen to everything,
yeah,
and then start to get to know the instruments. Just start to literally get to know them like friends.
yeah, yeah. I was going to ask you, like, do you listen? I feel like you listen differently than most people
Yeah.
because you hear things that we don't pay attention to. So you have to learn how to tune your ears into that different type of listening, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we are at my favorite part of the show. We call it stage left quickies. That's
All
what we
right.
call it. So you have to like jump out and give me an answer real quick. Don't think about it. Just do it. Uh,
Okay. All right.
strings or brass?
Brass,
Big orchestra or small ensemble?
small ensemble,
Pencil or notation software?
notation software,
Um, overture or finale?
overture.
Favorite Broadway overture?
Oh, favorite Broadway overture, Gypsy.
Okay. Most underrated instrument?
Um, 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 uh, cello,
Dream composer to collaborate with?
living or dead,
Either one.
Leonard Bernstein.
Oh, we already talked about that, so I can't ask that. Most overused orchestration cliche?
Key
The
changes.
drum fill and
Yep, exactly.
yeah. Thank you for sitting down with me. We finally got to do it.
We finally
Um,
got to do it. It was such a
finally
pleasure.
got to do it. Yeah, it was fun. Um, when are you going on to your next adventure? Are we talking
I'm
about it
going.
now or no?
Yeah. So I'm going to the O'Neill on Tuesday
Okay.
to be a music director for the cabaret and performance convention. So people
Okay.
come from all over the country to workshop their shows and learn new material, and I
Okay.
write arrangements for them, and we have a great time.
Okay. Okay.
And then yeah, I am when I come back in August, I start rehearsals for the national tour of Buena Vista Social Club.
And will you be the musical director for the Buena Vista Social
I
Club?
I will be. I will be.
Yay!
My
That's
apartment's
exciting
all
news.
packed up. I'm living out of
Okay.
a couple suitcases, so
Yes.
we're doing it.
Yes. Yes. That's exciting. How long is the tour going to run? Do you know?
I know at least a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So this is the first leg of the thing.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Nick, for joining me today. And
Thank you for
good luck
having
on
me.
all your future endeavors. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sure I'll see you around before I hit the
Oh,
road.
come visit me.
I will. I will.
All right, lovey.
All
Take
right.
care.
Thanks again. You too.
All right.
All right.
You're welcome.